Brilliant, brilliant. And my next question would be, um, who's coming on Monday to our new course, to the course on Monday? Who's going to be attending our course? Okay, this is so exciting. We've got around like 3,500 people signed up already to join the course. That is, I'm going to talk to you about that at the end, right? So don't leave right at the end. Like when it's like time to go, don't leave because I'm going to tell you more about it. And actually, this session here is also part of the launch. It's a part of like telling you guys about that course. So let me get started. Let me go straight in. Super excited that there's loads of you. All right. So in today's session, I want to get like everybody on the same page in terms of what I'm trying to do. First of all, I want you to understand what is the concept of launching. Like what is launching? What are the benefits of launching? And how can you incorporate it into your business so that you can start launching your own products and services, right? So, when I say launching, do you think I mean, give me like one or two, right? Do you think I mean the very first time you launch your product? Or do you think I mean like maybe you do it a few times a year or like, you know what I mean? Do you think I mean the first one or the second one? So like, let me say that again, right? Some people are like saying, but so when I mean launching, it's like launching your product or service, it should be something that you do on a regular basis. So it's not like an every week thing. It is, you have to think of it like a wedding, right? A wedding doesn't happen very often, maybe once a week, I mean, once a year. Or and what you want to do is understand that a launch is like a big event. And I'll go through the details with you now. So the question I'm going to start with is, have you ever created something incredible, right? Something amazing. And when you finally put it out there, you just get like a nothing, right? Have you done that before? Thank you for engaging with me, by the way, in the chat. It feels like I'm not talking to myself. Tumbleweed, exactly. You get nothing, right? And you're like, but this product is the best product in the world. Why is no one saying anything? No one wants to even like do anything about this product. And so I want to share that I have, right? Look, I'm wearing the same colors. I spent about 3 months building a course for my business. So I have a business, an online business. I spent 3 months, I involved my entire family. I was super excited. And at that point, I had built about 12,000 people in my audience. So this is email lists, this is social media, everything together. I had about 12,000 people, right? And so I posted it. I said, hey guys, I've got this really cool product. I made like a couple of posts and I got like maybe two or three people interested in buying the course. And everybody else was just like got on with their day. And so I learned something about this. Like I learned a lot about my first launch. And the lesson I learned is I had to work really, really hard on my first, like on this launch, not the first launch, on this launch to get people to actually be excited about my product or service. I had to like keep going. Like, what's going on? Why are people not, you know, interested in buying? So I learned a few lessons from that. And then I understood the concept of what a launch is. So I'm going to give you a definition now of what does that look like? What is a launch, right? So a launch is not just about opening doors and just that's it. It's like, here's my product. And what I did was I went to Google and I checked the definition of what a launch is: to release, catapult, or send off a self-propelled object, right? And now this is the rocket kind of style. Like think of a rocket, right? And then Another definition, a launch is when you build up excitement for something new, then open it up so people can join, buy, or take part. So I'm just giving you this definition to it's I'm almost making like a building blocks of you to fully understand what a launch means, right? So a launch isn't about the opening doors to your product, like I said. It's creating excitement, trust, and engagement, right? Before you ever ask for the sale. And like launches, like the way I'm teaching you how to do launches anyway, is a very rebel thing to do, right? I'll go into detail around like the benefits of launching next. So the number one thing that launches do is it drives sales. It makes sales like pop, basically. I'm going to talk about this in detail later, but building a sales plan and the way I'm showing you will drive sales, right? And it doesn't just like, it's not just about like money, right? It does help you grow as a business. It primes your customers and it gets them understanding what it is that you have to offer. And then the next thing is it turns strangers into supporters. So what a launch does is it introduces your product or services to a whole. Thank you for my pic, like what's it called? Liking my pictures. I did spend a little bit of time finding them. But yeah, like so it turns strangers into supporters. What does that mean? People that might not have even known who you are gonna suddenly know who you are. So Anthony, like with your photography, right? What a launch does is it will open up a new area of people that have never heard of you. And I'll tell you how we will do that. It will grow your email subscribers. It will build your social media and it will open up collaborations with more like for example, Kerry is another photographer, right? So it opens up another like a venue to start connecting with other people that might have audiences, ultimately building the relationships that you have around you. The other thing it does is it encourages feedback, right? So you put your product out there and people start buying, maybe they don't buy, but all of it is feedback. People tell you directly what they think of your product or services. People will ask questions. People will object to the cost and the price. There'll be so many different things coming at you, but this is gold, right? It allows you to actually be able to build on the next one and build your product and understand, okay, am I going in the right direction? It's the best way to actually, we teach this in the course, which is, selling. I mean, sorry, selling before you actually create anything. Meaning, this is the best way to find out if people want your product or services. Now, like if you're thinking I have to sit and ask questions and do surveys, that's not the way to find out and get feedback. The best way is to start before you're ready. So I'm going to talk to you about a company now, Disney, right? What's happening to something happened with Canva. As soon as I put this up, it said, this is not affiliated with Canva. I don't, maybe I'm not allowed to do this or something. I don't know. Anyway, Lilo and Stitch, the remake, like on the day that they released, they made 182,000. I mean, 182 million, sorry, in their first 4 day of launching, right? Now, they didn't just like kind of just pop up and say, Lilo and Stitch, come and join in the cinemas. Let me just check the comments, sorry. I'll talk about that, Adrian, what I mean later about start before you're ready, okay? Um, and so I want to ask you, right? Let me stop the sharing for a second. Everybody with me so far? Just give me a wave if you're awake and you're not sleeping. Okay, good. So let's imagine, um, let's imagine Disney with Lilo and Stitch. They decide that they're gonna launch their like the movie. And all they do is one day they wake up and say, okay, today is the day that I decided to launch this movie. What do you think would happen? Okay, let's unmute.
Yeah, so if on the launch days when they decided to share it, people wouldn't know about it and they won't get as much traction as they would have if they began marketing way ahead of time.
Exactly. Thank you so much. That was a great answer. No one would know about it. No matter how good the product is, without a launch, no one would know about it, right? So they must have like done several things for them to get to 182 million in 4 days. Right? They must have done several things. So I'm going to share with you what exactly they did, right? Mm. So first of all, this is just an image for me, for you, for those of you that don't know Lilo and Stitch. I just put it there. So what they did was, first they did a trailer. Do you guys know the what is it called? The football game. I say football, called football. Where they showcase like a ads in America. I forgot the name of it. Super Bowl, that's it. It's called Super Bowl, right? So they showed like the trailer. This was like maybe almost like 7, 8 months before the launch. They showed a trailer in Super Bowl. And then they created their like first official trailer. Like so these are videos, by the way. I was gonna show it to you, but Canva is saying, can't do that, sorry. So if you want to check it out, just type in afterwards Lilo and Stitch official trailer. And what they did is like first they did the taster. So they just kind of gave a little teaser in the Super Bowl, and this was like I think around like I forgot the numbers exactly. I wrote them down, and I'll show you later. But basically, what they did was, in order to get to that point, they did a lot to get to that stage, right? So, for example, one of the first things they did was when they were selling the Lion King, they had like the title of Lion King with Lilo in there. So like you'd see him like committing havoc. And that was like the very first release of Lilo. And it like this was like way before they've even ever thought about launching, etc. Right? So the concept is like it didn't happen in a day, right? It wasn't like something that they woke up one day and decided, okay, we're just going to launch this movie. There was a lot of planning that went into the release of like this movie. Now, as a small business, I'll show you exactly how they did that so that you can also replicate it with no money. Obviously, we're rebels, right? Like I'm not going to tell you to spend millions of pounds. Um, and so let's look at like the launch structure, right? That means like what does it actually entail? And this is when you need to start taking notes, people. So if you have any, I'll try and get the slides to you with Ewan, but if I can't, just take notes like you're about to teach someone else. That's what I always say. Good concept, right? All right. So the first stage of a launch structure is the pre-launch. Now, what is a pre-launch? A pre-launch is before you even do anything, you start and by the way, as soon as I say this, you're going to notice it everywhere. You're going to be like, oh, they're in the pre-launch right now. So this is when it's the whisper stage, right? You're dropping hints, but you're not being secretive. You're actually dropping hints. And you're like, okay, something's coming soon, something exciting is about to come. And you're getting your audience primed, right? You're getting them to pay attention, so that it's not just, I guess, like it's not about just the sales at the end. It's them getting excited, telling each other, like talking about it on social media, right? And this is when you can actually start having conversations with people, right? Like behind the scenes, you can start talking to people about the launch and getting them to look at like the new product, giving them like that, that ability to be able to try the if it's food or if it's photography, whatever it is, they need to be able to try your product or service, right? I'll give you all of this in a group, but the next thing is the pre-launch, right? I'm just giving you stages. Afterwards, I'll show you how to put this into a plan. So the pre-launch, this is where you show up with lots and lots and lots and lots of value. You share like your free content. You think about like, how can I give them tips, stories? Do you talk to them about like how your product has basically helped people? In a way that builds trust, right? Like you're sharing participants or customer or like anybody's story that has used your product. Then is the actual launch. Hooey, right? The actual launch. I always say to people that the week of the launch. So let's say um it's 1 week before your actual launch date, which means you're opening the cart. Everybody with me so far? So this is the actual launch. This is when it's like you want to think of a rocket ship, right? What could you do to make that clear that it's happened? Is there some sort of like special bonuses or limited spots, or but you got to be clear and bold and do things differently than you did before, right? And I'll talk to you guys about urgency after. There needs to be an aspect of urgency as well when it comes to a launch. And what I would say is the launch should have a time limit in terms of like when does it start, when does it end? Got it? It's a nice video for our senses. And then it's about the like once the launch is finished, there's a post-launch bit. And this means like you're not just forgetting about the people that were there in the journey with you. Like you shouldn't just kind of just be okay, bye. Like I don't want to hear from you ever again. What you want to do is thank them. Maybe you want to share like behind the scenes of like the it creates a little bit of FOMO as well, right? Like let's say when I finished my launch, I didn't just forget everybody. I showed them a little bit of I said thank you so much for being part of this. I got them to what did I do? I showed behind the scenes basically around like what was happening so they can just be in the journey a little bit. And then what happens is the next time maybe they'll be ready to buy the next time if you treat them really well and you're coming from a place of value, right? And so you want to make sure that your non-buyers also feel looked after. Now, I just want to get off a tangent here and just give like a little bit of side note. So while you guys are not launching. So there's no launch happening. It's like a every day. What should you be doing? I love making you guys think. I love like how Joanna, you physically look like you were thinking. You're like, love that. Okay. All different answers. And I'm going to give you my answer. Remember, like everybody has different answers to this, but this is coming from my experience and the things I've done, right? And so what you need to be thinking about is two things. Survive. Yes, Carrie. That too. So you've got two parts. Number one is short form content. Short form content. Does everybody know what short form content? Give me some examples in the chat of what short form content is. So the best way to just like think about this is just short content. 15, 30 seconds, 1 minute content. That is short form content. And this is in the form of reels, like some of you have said, or Instagram posts, etc. Now you need to have some sort of plan, right? Like short form content, what's the reason for short form content? It's to basically stay on top of your customer's mind. If I think of photography, I want to immediately think about Anthony photography and Kerry. Right? And anybody else that is in front of mine, right? They're showing me their stuff. So that's the number one. I need to be able to show up in front of the person at least 7 times for them to actually know, like, and trust me, right? And so the short form content over time will be building that relationship. So then what is the long form content? Long form content, it goes by, I mean, you guys know this, the answers to this. I don't need to tell you. Tell me about the long form content. What is it? Okay, so long form content, the quickest way to think about it is podcast, YouTube videos, blogs. So and it could be any of those, and you get to decide because it's your business where you want to show up. And sometimes your audience might be in YouTube on YouTube, but these days everybody's everywhere. So it really ultimately it only comes down to where do you feel most comfortable. If you're not comfortable with video, then maybe go on podcasting, right? And what I want to say is the short form content should be leading people to your long form content. Because if I'm sitting there and listening to your podcast for 30 minutes while I'm washing the dishes, we have built a relationship, whether you like it or not. I'll be like, I know this person, they're my friend, obviously. So it's important that, like that you're actually taking the time to understand what's the difference. Why am I creating short content? Why am I creating long content? Long content is like your bank, basically. That content will keep showing up for you on Google, on like anybody that searches anything, it will show up. So it's important for you to like really think, okay, how do I do both? Okay. Oh, Claire, I was just thinking about you the other day. That is such a cool, like, oh, I love to hear it. So me and Claire, we just sat down, had a quick chat, and I'm so thankful that I see that there's an actual footfall. So yeah, that gives me goosebumps. I love hearing like success stories. So that's awesome. And guys, like when I'm giving this advice, it's really coming from the heart. I'm not here, like Rebel hasn't even asked me to do this. Literally, I'm here today to see if I can give some value to you guys and see if you can actually um walk away with some information to bring in more sales and build like a business that you want. So got emotional there a little bit. All right, let's go back to the stages. Like I went off on a tangent there because I think you need to know what you need to do while you're and this is the stuff that will make your launch really powerful when you do the short form content and the long form content like regularly, right? Like so regularly could mean once a month, once a week, and this is whatever it means to you, right? But consistency and knowing, okay, I expect one post from her a month is all I need, right? So this is basically the structure. Pre-launch, pre-launch, launch, post-launch. And I've made it PPLP so that you guys can like remember what it is. And I put some words to kind of associate with what goes on behind the scenes. So in the first stage is planning, pre-launch is proving your like that your product works, you're giving people samples, you're getting people to, like whatever you can do to get people to experience your product or service, right? And then once like the launch is like opening doors, right? And then the protect is basically once people don't buy, you don't say, "Ah, don't want to see your faces ever again," and you're actually taking care of them as well, right? Let's see what's next. So then the next part is I want to talk to you about, have you seen this product before? Trip? Who likes drip? Who's like drank trip before? Trip. So like trip is like it's basically got like certain like natural ingredients that allows you to like feel calm so you're not going for alcohol and things like that. So it's like a alternative, that's how they market it. But recently they if you look really closely, you can see it says wild strawberry, right? And this is their new like flavor that they've released into the world. And so I'm going to show you how they use the same structure that I just showed you to do the same that you're going to do basically, right? So this is their launch plan. So what they did was their first pre-launch, right? Like pre-launch, sorry. They built curiosity, like they created desire in people. They were like, okay, how do we do that? So this is when they involve, right? People that are like maybe it's influencers trying it. Like, but they planned it in a way that people were like their heads up and it's like, I want to try this. That literally that. It's like, how do they create that? And it's at the early stages, like talking about like the build, how did we make this, what was the reason they made it like that, and they get influencers and people to try it so that the general public can see them trying it, right? And then what they did was they did the pre-launch, which is to prove the concept. So they created anticipation and social proof. And like this is again, it's like more of like the stuff at the top. The top is just building curiosity, little hints of people talking about it, mentioning it slightly, maybe putting it on in front of the camera and people thinking, wait, I've never seen that flavor before, kind of like. But then the pre-launch is creating the anticipation, social proof, showing behind the scenes, people reacting to like the drink, playful content, and basically they just created a whole like campaign around this part of it before they even released it to anybody, right? So then when the launch happened, they made a lot of money. So because of the build up, build up, build up, build up, build up, boom, it's open. Everybody now wants to know more, right? And then the post launch is they keep the momentum alive, like they talk about their customer's journey, and you know what I mean, and thank the social media people around what they've been able to do in the launch like period, right? And I'll show you how they did that. Yeah, so Halle, I'm going to talk about that in a second. Hopefully I have enough time to cover everything, but I tried to squeeze everything I can into this session. And then, okay, sorry, just give me a second. Just need to see. So, okay, so this is if you look at like trips, um, yeah, Chelsea, I'm with you completely. Oh, so true. I just want to put it out there. It's like, here, buy it. But this patience, anticipation is also what makes people impatient, and they're like ready to buy as soon as you open the door as well. So if you look at their posts, right? Trip, um, every single post that you see in the last 6 posts are all about the new product, everything. And so if you look, you'll see that like one of the things they did was launch within Target. And I'll show you what they say in the comments. From mixing our first, this is basically like once they've launched, right? From mixing our first trip drink recipes in our kitchen to launching nationwide in select Target stores today. What a journey it's been. Never could I have pictured this. And they talk about their story. With a mission to help billion people find their calm, we left our careers to launch Trip. And then so then it says to our, this is like the ending of the launch. To our amazing community, thank you. Your stories, love, obsession with built Trip will have built Trip into what it is today, right? So it's like thanking the people that have been involved in the whole like industry. Now guys, like I chose Trip because it was one of the most recent launches that occurred. So all you need to do is like just search for like a recent launch that's happened and start investigating what did they do, what did they not do, etc. Okay. Exactly. Like it's I'll talk about like why like partnering up we'll talk about in a second as well. All right. Like and everything's gonna come clearer and clearer for you guys. Don't worry. Once I leave you, you're gonna start noticing everybody launching their products and services, etc. So then the question is, when should you launch? Did you ask yourself that question? Or is that a question you thought about recently? When should I launch? Right? And my thing for that is that you should, like I said to already, don't take too long to launch. The sooner you launch, the quicker you learn and get feedback. And what I'm going to do next now, love that, Kerry. Always do it near a payday. Make your launch day always. That's actually a good point. I didn't even put it. When people have money, that's when you wanna like create your launch around that. You don't want to do it at the end, like I don't know, the 20th of June, and everybody's like, I can't pay for anything right now. I need to wait. Um, so now I want you to roll up your sleeves, right? Roll up your sleeves. You're gonna be doing some tasks for me now. Now, just humor me and just like do it like on the call. And let's get the momentum started, right? So, what are the steps that it takes for you to actually what's it called? Like plan a launch, right? And we're going to do this together, step by step. Um you're not able to create put the Q&A at the bottom, huh? Okay. So I wanted to have a Q&A so everybody could write their questions down so that I can answer them because it's important, I think. So now step number 1 is pick a date. Pick a date. When is the launch going to happen? And what you want to do is work like basically backwards. The launch is going to be around a week long, right? And then the pre-launch, I would say give it like 2 weeks. The most I would say is pick a date from now that's about a month away. 1 month away. And this is like, this is really cutting it close, right? I would recommend around 6 weeks. 6 weeks would be a good time for you to get ready for the launch. Now, again, this is just my experience and in my field and in my industry and what I've seen other participants do. This could be completely different to you. So expect things to go wrong, expect things not to happen. And I want you to remember the experiment that we do at the Rebel School, right? Treat this as an experiment. What works? What doesn't work? What can I do better next time? But like I said, a launch isn't just about money. It grows your audience, it puts you on the map, it creates credibility, it creates trust, right? So step one is to pick a date, right? And this date will be your launch, and your launch will last about a week. And this is, you have to see it as your countdown clock. This is the thing, like you choose this and then you work backwards, basically. And this is, again, I'm going to reiterate it. This is when the cart opens. So let's do that now. And this doesn't have to be set on stone. You can change it, right? But the minute that like you choose it, I want you to commit and say, this is going to be the launch. You know, if I do it really terribly, I'm still going to do it. So let's do that now. Let's pick a date. Look at your calendar. I'm going to give you about a minute. So there you go. Kerry said Christmas launch. Yes, absolutely, Claire, you can still launch. Like I said, it's not a one-time thing. You could be like, okay, I want to introduce, I want more sales in, I don't know, like one of your treatments, and say this specific treatment, I want to get 10 people to buy. And so then you set a new date, and then I'll show you exactly how to tackle it. It's going to be so exciting. I wish I had you guys for 2 hours. I've got so much to say. Okay, so the next step is putting it in the chat and just declaring this is the date that I'm going to do. I see lots of Novembers. So does no, it does not depend on the readiness of your product, Joanna, right? I'll tell you the reason for this. It depends actually on your product, but launches is what get like it like, you know, in the Rebel sell before you create, right? That's a real concept. Get paid before you even create anything. And now I don't know your exact product, so I can only say this with a grain of salt, right? But having pre-orders is a thing, right? Kerry's saying it. Pre-orders are a thing. And you could tell your audience, it is going to take me about 2 weeks to create this. It is going to take me about a month to create this. And so it's important that you communicate very, very well. Now, if people do pay you, you want to deliver. And if you can't deliver, you have to have contingency plans where you can give back the money if you can't deliver. Right? But we're all about pre-orders in this house, yeah? And if you're a rebel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So has everybody picked a date? Put it in the chat if you haven't done so already. So, Joanna, where are you? There you are. So what is how long does it take for you to create your product?
It can be up to a year.
Up to a year. Okay, so then
Or even longer.
I think it sounds like if is it something like a new invention or something that you created yourself, then
Yes, it is.
Kickstarter would be an incredible place for you.
Yeah, I have considered go down that route, but because I haven't applied for patent, so if I go down to Kickstarter route, that means I do not have protection in terms of my IP. That's why I'm still considering which path I should go down. Yeah.
So there's different ways of like you can put your ideas, like this is a rebel way of doing this, right? Where you get your plans and everything, and you can post the delivery, signed delivery on your envelope, and they'll like put like a date on when you like delivered it, and then you can have in the envelope, and basically you don't open it, and then you have some sort of proof that that is your product. But let me
Yeah.
tell you something, regardless of a pattern or anything like that, people will still copy. and this is the reality of the world we live in. Lots of
Yeah.
people, like, you know, put their things out there, and they have to put lawsuits, and but don't let that be the thing that stops you. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm trying to weigh up, because my IP lawyer is very much against of me sharing any idea. He said that that will infringe my opportunity of applying for a patent. So Kickstarter is a big platform. If I put it up there, then very likely I won't be able to apply for a patent in future. So I'm trying to weigh up. Should I take the risk and get my order in to so I get the first pot of money, help me move forward, or should I really stick to what my patent lawyer's been telling me? So it's a really hard decision to make at the moment.
That I can imagine, like I can hear you. You're like in the middle. Like, how about you do some sort of like soft launch where you're not putting it out into everybody, but you're directly contacting people that might be interested in buying, and that will give you straight away feedback in terms of like what does the market think about, like what do they want. So for you, I would do a soft launch, so you're not doing it with everybody, and test it out in a smaller scale, and then
Yeah.
when you're ready, like then you can put it out there into the world, you know.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing so far, and I've got very good feedback.
Excellent, that's what we like to hear.
Thank you.
That's really cool. Adrian, you had your hand up.
Yes, regarding what you are saying to Joanna. So basically, that is a case of copyright. So you can prove that copyright. So under copyright law, it's something different. Like you create like a manuscript, an image, and other things that are relatable. So what she has something different. She has like a product which it's like a physical product. So the copyright, like email, I mean, to send her
The letter, yeah.
the letter, I don't think it will apply because it's something different. And also,
Mhm.
you have like registered designs, which
Yeah.
is something else. But again, the registered design, it's again a wild thing. Like someone did, I don't know, there was a case with some cases, some luggage cases, and someone, I think they changed the colors on it and they lost, like who invented the case, the original case, someone replicated, and because it was like a registered design, they lost. I don't know how it works, but it's yeah, it's difficult from my
Yeah,
point of view regarding a product. With copywriting, like a picture or anything
yeah,
manuscript, is much more easier.
bit different.
I
Okay,
think
thank you so
to
much, Adrian, for
to
sharing that.
get like a patent, I think you need like maybe 1 year or something like that, and it costs like maybe £5,000, something like that. Anyway, yes. Thank you for allowing me to talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adrian. I appreciate that. This is like the community's here to help and give, and this is I really like admire people that go out their way to help. So if you know information that could help Joanna, like please feel free to like you know, connect afterwards as well. But I just want to carry on because the timing. I've got 10 minutes to finish everything, so let me go to this next step. And I can see loads of comments. I'm gonna read them afterwards, but I don't have time to go through them now. So sorry if I'm not paying attention to the comments, guys. I'm so sorry. Um, okay, so then what you want to do is next is to choose your marketing channels, right? Now, if you've taken the Rebel course, you remember that all the different types of marketing channels there are, right? But before we do that, what you want to do is a buffet. You're gonna have a buffet. And the buffet is basically you choose something to do on every stage of the game, right? So the pre-launch, sorry, I wrote teaserism there. I don't know why, but I mean like create like teasers, quick posts, email, stories, polls. This is just an example. Yours could be completely different. Pre-launch, emails, videos, webinars, social reels, mini courses, challenges, This is the bit that you give value. And you think to yourself, how can I give value, Ray, right? You know, how can I like provide like something that will change somebody's like life in a small way, in a big way, straight away before I even ask them to buy, right? And this is basically the version of, you're in the supermarket, you want to sell lots of cakes. What do? You get people to taste the cakes. You get people to, you know, get like a cake for free, and they want to try it. And this is how you create customers, is is about giving first. Then it's the actual launch. Like, and the launch requires emails, social posts, countdown, lives. And so it's like, what is it that you want to choose from there? And then the nurture part is like thank you emails, case studies, behind the scenes. What is it that you want to like do for your people that haven't bought, right? So this is the buffet, right? And then you're going to pick for each stage, what is it that like, by the way, this is not a, like, not everything is here, right? This is like a good chunk of stuff. And there might be stuff here that you don't even know. We do cover it in the course. But you're now like choosing for each stage of this marketing buffet, I like to call it. And imagine you're in a buffet and you're like, oh, I'll get some blogging here and I'll get some email marketing. What is it that you're gonna choose to shout about your product from the very beginning till the end of the launch? Do you want to create a course that you give away? Do you want to do a challenge? Do you want to do a series of long form content, YouTube series, podcasts, etc.? And you get to choose. And this is when you can say, do I want to partner up with people? Do I want to connect with someone else that has that audience? Do we want to do this together at some point where I can share, like we can share each other's audience? Is everything clear on this point? Just give me a thumbs up in the camera if it's clear. I can see you guys. Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Madeline. Thanks, Jolanta. Okay. So just for fun, this is not the real thing. I want you to choose 4. Just 4. Like for each stage of that. Okay, Kaylee, see you later. Okay, so do that now. I want you to just choose which ones that you're like, okay, you know what, that's super easy to me. So is it are you going to be building a landing page? Are you going to go to 5 networking events pre? Are you going to be contacting 50 people in your area? What are you going to do to get out there at every single stage of the game? Everybody with me so far? Great, Bibiana, that was fast. Thank you. Good to see you here. So clubs is Toastmasters. So there's Toastmasters literally everywhere in the whole world. And let's say, like, for example, Alan wanted to be in Microsoft and contact Microsoft as one of his customers. He went and applied to Toastmasters in Microsoft, and he was able to get one of his first deals because of that. So it's just like, how do you get in front of your audience? How do you shout about your products? Okay, awesome. Yeah, so this is, I'm just getting you guys to make decisions. You might like want to do something else, like an ad and so on. Take away and think of something else. Next thing, got 5 minutes left. Next thing is creating content and connecting with other people. What does that mean? So creating content, meaning you're writing your emails at this stage. You're creating your posts. You're getting everything ready. You're contacting people that would love to collaborate with you, right? Other photographers that could shout about you. Who is it, like Tara, that is in your what's it called, network, that you can connect with, that can share about your post? And this is the period where you're just head down, creating content. Is it reels? Is it blog posts? Whatever it is, you'll just batch creating that. Yeah. And don't forget, a big part of the audience is the rebel audience. We've got 7,000 people in our Facebook group. Have any of you gone in there and said, I'd love a little hand in my launch. Can anybody help? Can anybody support? Right? So that's like the 4 stages that I've given you. I'm gonna go a quick fire round to tips around like the actual content, right? I'm trying to see you guys in the content. There's like a million things going on my screen. Okay, so bear with me. So ready? 10 tips for launching. Number 1, plan. Planning is super important for a launch. What you're trying to do, guys, is imagine like you have a wedding, right? Let's say you have a wedding coming up and you don't tell anybody about the wedding. You don't like, get catering. You don't do any of that. And then the date comes and you're like, why is no one in my wedding? What's going on? I don't understand. So you want to do a build up. You want to save the date. You want to send invites. You want to talk about it. Is there a landing page for the wedding? Do you want to create excitement around there? Like, is there a what's it called? What is it called when you do a little mini party with your friends and you talk about it? So it's like you're just talking about the wedding for 6 months and everybody's excited to go, right? I mean, sorry, let me go back to that. I'm just gonna have to make you guys small, sorry. So you set a date and then commit. Do not change the date once you've committed, right? Next thing is get other people involved. Who in your area, the people that can help you. Love that, John. So who in your area, who in your circles can get involved in this? Like who can actually share your posts, who can email about you to their subscribers, who can just reshare. Is it your family members? Like I always often get my family members to quickly comment on a new post so that it starts to get traction, right? So who are you going to be involving because you need people to make launches successful. So the week of the launch, just remember that, guys, is it okay if I go like a couple of minutes after the session? Sorry if you have to be anywhere, but I just need 2 more minutes. Just give me a yes if you're okay going over a few minutes after. Okay, awesome. I love you guys. Okay, so the week of the launch, you post about nothing else, right? Like, so you focus on the launch. You absolutely don't do anything else. So there's no like, you're not doing anything else on the launch except talking about the launch. Like you're talking about the launch, you're posting about the launch, you're going on interviews about the launch. It is just about the launch and sending people to the car. Your entire focus and energy should be about that. Okay. Many people, they're like, oh, we've got a launch in a week, so I'll just have a cup of tea and relax. No, this is the week where you don't sleep. Sorry to advocate for that, but this is the literally no 0 day of like the launch, right? Stop any other promotions, right? That means if you have any other product or services, stop talking about them, please. And if you're creating content, every single content should be mentioning the launch. Then start before you're ready. If you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready, I don't know if everything is right, logos, everything like that. Nothing needs to be perfect, especially if this is your first ever time launching. Make sure that you're taking notes of things that you could improve next time and just get on with it and just let it happen. And then a launch is all about anticipation, the build up, the doing activities, the doing things that are you never really see it like from your business. So you're creating things that are like just out of this world, right? Posts that are a little bit different. TikTok that's a little bit more on a more of an excitement level. But you're not like just surprise kind of thing. They can almost like guess what's gonna happen. So you just want to give them like some trickled some like little secrets. Maybe it's a box with a question mark, whatever. Like, use your creativity in this, okay? And then the next thing is give first. Give first. This is super important in a launch. Before you open anything, how can you give to people? How can you set a record to say, I mean, set a like a target, I'm going to help 20 people before I even start my launch? Like, it's really, really going in hard in terms of the giving aspect of it. The next thing is urgency. Urgency meaning, if you say something is going to close at a certain time, somebody missed slide 4. Okay, I'll go back to it in a second. So urgency is necessary. So if you say that the cart will close at a certain time, then you close it at a certain time. You don't want to like be like, okay, I might like just extend it. If you're getting 1 million people buying, and it makes sense to add 1 or 2 more days, then yeah, that's fine. But you're ultimately training people when you do create urgency, right? And you don't want to create fake urgency, so you can't do a launch forever. So it's like, okay, I'm creating a launch where the products are 20% less in this launch. They also get this and this and this included in the launch, and so they're getting so much value, but like they need to make the decision on a certain point, because people are like lazy and they're busy, and so you need to create that like cutoff so they make the decisions, right? And then the next thing is celebrating your buyers. One of the things I used to do is basically I would put like people's names on like a post-it notes, and then I'll put it on the wall. And I learned this from somebody else, but basically every time someone bought like a package, I would just write their name down and then talk about it in my stories, and it will give people FOMO and be like, and also give that. I used to actually create a post on my stories with the person's name, just the person's name, and like fireworks coming out saying that they just bought one of the courses, and it just would make people feel so good to be celebrated and have their names on there, and also makes other people think, I want my name on there, put my name up there, like kind of thing, right? So celebrate your people. So let me go back. So someone says, I didn't understand. So giving first is like, what could you give, right? Could you give information? Could you give a sample? Could you give a free like sessions or free products? Whatever it is that you can give that first. And then someone says they didn't see number 4. Let's see. So stop any other promotion, meaning do not talk about like anything else. If you have other products, stop talking about them. Only focus on the actual product that you're trying to launch in this time period. Does that make sense? All right. So last but not least, if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. Right? So this is a quote that I wanted to leave you guys with from Reid Hoffman, who is the LinkedIn co-founder. So that is, I'm going to give you just like a few minutes to just give me some questions that you might have. But what would be really great, like, is if you guys just shared your LinkedIn, social media. Wouldn't that be great if you could do that in the chat? And then everybody else could, connect. So share your LinkedIn now, and then you can save. Tip number 10. Oh, I didn't have tip number 10. I love that energy there, Melanie. Amazing. Does anybody have any questions? Well, like, share your LinkedIn. Please connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Please connect with us on Facebook as well. Before you go, I know some of you are just going to be like, boom, like go. I want to tell you about Monday, right? Like, Monday's coming up, which is our launch of the new Rebel course, which is going to be a 10-week program covering every aspect of business. And it's going to be run by the co-founders, Simon and Alan. I don't know if you guys know who they are, but they are incredible for those of you that like know, have met them. But the idea is, what we did is our old courses, like they're not old, we're still doing them, are like 10-day courses where each day will be 10 to 2. So we've made it a difference, made it like different because people couldn't attend. Some people had work, some people had like a family, you know, it becomes really hard. So what we did was condense the content and make it a 2-hour session, kind of like the finance school, if you have attended the finance school. Every Monday for 2 hours, 8 until 10 p.m., you have like a one area that you focus on. And then on the Thursday is going to be a Q&A with coaching. We're covering everything from the latest tax that you need to understand, like we're going digital now, all the way to AI, like how do you use AI for your business? So we're covering every aspect. We've got around 3,500 people already signed up. I'd love it if you guys could join, and I'll see you on the other side. Ewan, if you're able to put the link to sign up in the chat, like the link is a landing page, and I never spoke about the landing page, but basically the landing page is there to build trust so you guys can show up on Monday. That's the idea. So you can notice what we do at the Rebel School, talking about it, talking about like the course is part of the launch, guys. It is literally, we want you there. It's completely free, right? You don't have to pay. And we made it even more inclusive, even more like succinct and beautiful and amazing. And our aim is to make sure you guys build the lives that you want, right? So I'm really excited about Monday. If you guys can come and join us, that would be absolutely incredible. Jen asks, is it possible to see the week by week program and attend the ones that are relevant? Yes, absolutely, Jen. If you go onto the landing page that Ewan just shared, you can see on the landing page what is covered week to week, and then you'll be able to select which days. But the more days you come, the more like the better it will be. We're giving like giveaways, like one-to-one sessions with Alan and Simon. There's like so much that we're doing like for this course, and I'm just super excited. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep this open for like the next 10 minutes for you guys to be able to just what's it called, put your LinkedIn and so on in there. And I just want to ask you one last thing. We have a test session coming up today with Simon. Would anybody like to test the Zoom with us? Is that something you'd like to do? If it is, Ewan, are you able to share the Zoom for that test session? It's just literally for us to hang out and check that the Q&A works and the chat works, literally that. So if you are free, what time is it? Ewan, are you able to pop up and speak to these lovely people? There it is. So quickly save that before it goes up. Save that Zoom link. And then what time is the session?
So it will be 2 o'clock and probably about an hour or possibly shorter, possibly longer, depending on
2
how
o'clock.
long it takes. And this will be a good opportunity to just ask maybe a few questions about the course, say hello to everyone, and for us to actually check that everything's working, which is very important
Amazing.
for a course like this.
Really important. Guys, we've got 3,500 people signed up. I think more now. And we're just like scared that Zoom will just break and die. Like, so we're doing as many tests as possible, behind the scenes stuff, etc. Amazing. Okay, thank you so much for being here. Love you all. And I'll see you if you're going to come on the session, or on Monday. Come on Monday, sign up. I'll see you on the other side, guys. Thank you so much for coming today. I hope it was valuable. Yeah, goodbye.